This is not, global warming. This is taking care of people in our county that need help and doing it in a tangible way that not just meets their need and kind of subsidizes their standard of living. It's been awesome because, first of all, we aren't reinventing the wheel. We're working with Love Inc. that's been doing this for a long time, and Love Inc. helps the church be the church locally in a way that exemplifies good stewardship.
I look around, there's just so many needs. And how do we go about, how do we handle this? And I've always been frustrated because it feels like, man, you can meet this physical need, but how do you connect the spiritual to it? And it just frankly I didn't know how to do all that. And so really the partnership that since I've been here has helped me gain just this confidence that needs can be met and point people to Jesus. And Love Inc. just does a phenomenal job with that. So just part of my heart and my passion, compassion for the community, Love Inc. helps make that happen.
What Love Inc. was really encouraging was what you guys call redemptive compassion, which is, it's hard because you're not just handing somebody some stuff and then walking away. You're kind of putting yourself out there and taking some emotional risks and getting to know people. And it was also kind of eye-opening to see what all was happening in Lorain County. And some of the people that we were involved with were really close to the church here. So it wasn't just somewhere far away in Lorain County. It was people that were neighbors. And I don't think I had really any idea of how desperate some of the people were. It's doing what Jesus says to do. It's recognizing that the people that we are serving are really, they're the same kind of people we are, except they're in a really hard place and for whatever reason, and they just need Jesus. And it's a way to meet their needs, but just do it the way Jesus would do it.
I would also say that it's been helpful to me as a pastor because I have such a heart to mobilize people within my church to use their gifts and abilities. And I don't think that there are enough opportunities for ministry within the church to give everyone the opportunity to use their gifts and abilities. And I think they need to be used out in the community. And so we've got some folks that have really latched on to what Love Inc. is doing in the community. So they're able to use their gifts and abilities to connect the church with the community and with Love Inc. and everybody working together. And so as a pastor, that's done a lot for me personally as well.
The biggest benefit that I think that as a pastor, as a church, that we get from Love Inc. is the fact that we are not alone in this. The fact that there are a lot of people hurting. There are a lot of people that need help, and we know that with Love Inc. there, they are supporting the church. They are helping the church help others. Whereas before Love Inc., before they came along, and it was like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do with this? And it was constant stress. But now I have a peace concerning things like this, when issues and situations come up that I need somebody to talk to and I need help. Love Inc. has been there for me.
Last September, I was deep into my alcoholism. The devil completely had a hold of me. So much so that I was in a custody battle with my ex-husband, and I didn't even show up to the final hearing, and lost custody of my girls. So I put my church through a lot. For those 10 months in between my stays at George's house, they had to see me throw the little bit of life that I still had away. They watched me come to church drunk, come to church high, come to church hungover. And they still loved me through it all. And they were there for me. And when I made that decision to come back to George's house, they welcomed me with open arms and they supported me. And through this whole process, this past year, I literally could not have done anything without their support.
In the middle of all that, she also needed help in certain financial areas. And during this situation, or when she was going through some things, she would reach out for help, and I would reach out to Love Inc., and we partnered together, and we were able to resolve some of those issues for her.
The way that God has changed who I am from the inside out is incredible. And that's how I know it's God, because I could never. No one person can change themselves as much as I've been changed if it wasn't for God. And if it wasn't for my pastors and Michelle and Sandra T and everyone that supports me and loves me. And it's just a different way of life. Kingdom culture is so different from the way that the world is. And it's a beautiful thing. And I literally owe my life to Cathedral of Life and George's house and Loving. Like, you guys, those three organizations saved my life.
And Annette went from broken to whole. She went from someone who wondering which way to go to someone with an absolute destiny. And I believe it's because we as a ministry and Loving helping us, I believe that was a part of her success. And then there's Sakina. What a breath of fresh air she is for our church. She's excited. She's passionate.
I ended up contacting Love Inc. because I had problems with my teeth. And it was overwhelming, and I knew I couldn't afford it on my own. So I ended up, getting connected and going through that process.
She, as well as many others, have gone through issues, and not just addiction issues, but financial issues. But we always made sure that we were partnered or that we were hooked up to Love Inc.
I do feel like there was changes in me spiritually and emotionally. People work through people to speak to you, and not only just help you in financial needs, but physical needs and emotional needs. I built up a confidence for God, for myself, and for knowing that there's organizations out there that God works through to help others,
I believe that most churches and most followers of Jesus, they love people, but they don't always know how best to help people. And so as we really took our partnership with you to a new level a few years ago, it's given this whole sense of, we can help meet people's needs and not hurt them in the process, not make them dependent in an unhealthy way. We can have conversations about the gospel, about Jesus, and yet also see legit, genuine needs being met, not only through our church, but that church over there, that church over there, that ministry over there, that community opportunity as well. And so our people have just gained a better understanding and confidence level on how to help people in need in our community, and it's not so overwhelming.
We wouldn't be doing anything like this without Love Inc. And if there are churches that aren't taking that next step, I shouldn't even say this, but in the remote past, my idea of Love Inc. was, well, if somebody came to the church and needed something, you kind of shuffled them off to Love Inc., and that was a way to kind of get rid of an uncomfortable situation. And that's, I just forgive us, Lord, for even thinking that. So if there are churches that are not taking the next step to do something more with redemptive compassion, then you're missing it. You're just missing the whole message. And it's not just because there's people that need it. The church needs it. The church needs redemptive compassion to be able to look at ourselves.
You just literally show them the love of God. You literally be as Christ-like as possible and give them the love that Jesus had for us.
Still